Hello, and welcome to something a little bit different. While I'm working on my next mod list video, I just wanted to have a chat about something that's, soon to be probably pretty important, especially for my channel, and that is Starfield. I usually work off a script, but I've not got any of that, so it's just going to be me rambling. But I got some thoughts and thought I'd share them with the world. So yeah, hopefully Starfield is coming to the Steams and the Xboxes and the PlayStations. Oh no, oh, maybe not that last one. That wasn't intentional, but oof. Yeah, hopefully November. They say it is. For how long it's been in development, I'd like to say that it won't be delayed, but who knows? Every game seems to be delayed nowadays. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about my hopes for Starfield modding. I'm not a modder myself, but obviously, given my channel, I do a lot of modding, and here's what I expect and hope will happen. So obviously the first thing is, will there be modding? And no doubt, I've got no doubt there will be modding. Todd Howard is well aware of how big mods are. I mean, there was that recent interview a few months back, and even there, he was asked the question, like, what's your favourite mods? And I think he was talking about, like, Sky UI and stuff like that. So there's no way modding's not going to be a thing. I guess, like, the big question is, will there be a creation kit? Which is the software provided by Bethesda to allow people to get in there and really mod the game. It's why Bethesda games have such a bigger modding audience and just variety than other games, is because, for all the bad stuff, well, not bad, all the questionable decisions Bethesda make, they are probably the best, well, one of the best when it comes to giving players freedom to do whatever they want with their games. But yeah, will there be a creation kit? I'm gonna say yes. I would be very surprised if there wasn't. I'm gonna imagine that it'll be like with Fallout 4's release. The game released without the creation kit, and you could still do some modding. I remember some of the early mods. It was a lot of like stuff for settlement building, where every item in the game could be placed. You had more UI stuff, but you weren't able to add in like new models, I don't think, and just like new quests and stuff. And then the creation kit released. I think it was a good amount of time. It was like, was it 3 to 6 months, something along those lines. And that's when it all began. So I can't remember if the same happened with Skyrim. I would imagine so. And yeah, here we are, with both those games still going strong. Now, there's always the possibility that they limit mods to their own Bethesda modding website. When you go on their games now, there's always a tab that says mods, and it takes you to Bethesda stuff. And, the mods on there are still good. They're definitely limited with what you can offer, because the script extenders are pretty much, like, required for any modding nowadays, if you want, like, any decent mod. Plus, I know they won't get rid of modding because it's become a pretty big thing on consoles as well. It's a big deal when Xbox and PlayStation allowed mods. So yeah, it ain't going anywhere. Also, there's the Creation Club, which is their attempt at paid mods. And, I mean, with the release of the Anniversary Edition, like, that was nice, just bundle all this content together that you usually have to pay extra for. I mean, you are paying extra for the Anniversary Edition, but, it's at a better price. Funny enough, like, I've not played the content from the Creation Club, but from what I've seen, like, there's good stuff in there. It's just the prices are ridiculous. But yeah, there was a time where it seemed like maybe mods were going to go away and they were just only going to allow Creation Club content. That sort of crashed and burned, so yeah, I don't see them doing that. So assuming that there will be a creation kit, like, in 2023 of like March-ish. I guess, you know, it's not something that I've personally used. I probably should get to know it for the fact my whole channel was based around mods. But, you know, yeah, it definitely needs like a better UI from what I've seen. And, you know, just the more freedom they can give with like modeling and ease of making quests and stuff. Yeah, you can tell I don't mod. Just the easier they make it and the more accessible there are, the more mods we're gonna get, and just the better mods we're gonna get. Because you look at stuff now, like Sim Settlements 2 for Fallout 4, it's insane. It's its own DLC. And obviously, like the Forgotten City from Skyrim, literally became its own game. So you think how like accessible things already are. If they pushed it even further, it could be amazing. And just with Starfield in general and modding, I'm really hopeful. And I probably shouldn't be because it's Bethesda. And like, you forget, Fallout 4 released in 2015. I had to look that up before recording this, and I was like, what? Really? Because we didn't count Fallout 76. The game is in a playable state, and like there's fun to be had with it, but it ain't what I want. You know, I'm looking for that Bethesda single-player game, and that ain't it. So yeah, it's been 7 years. Blimey, 7 years of no games from them. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic because I know majority of people, given the choice, would obviously prefer that Elder Scrolls 6 comes out next. But accepting that next is Starfield, I'm a sucker for space exploration, so I am excited. I think some people may expect too much, as with every Bethesda game. Stuff like flying, you know, when you say space exploration, you picture you flying around in your spaceship, obviously. Let's face it, the creation engine just can't handle that. I'm going to go ahead and say that you walk into your ship, you press some buttons on a control panel, and you teleport to the next planet. Because there's no way I see just landing and flying about a planet working. Maybe it will. Maybe it will, and I'll be so surprised. But yeah, just when you have a space game, just the amount of possibilities with modding you could get. Like, imagine if you could create your own planets. We're not talking about, like, small world spaces here. An entire planet. And the thing is, with planets, to explore, they can be mostly bare. And it still looks cool, because you're exploring in space. I mean, obviously, it's more of a personal preference thing, because some people like a game's map to be small and indents, packed full of content. I'm more the opposite. I like a really big map that you can just explore and get lost in, even if stuff isn't that close by. Like, my favourite parts of Skyrim are just forests, where there's, like, barely anything in there. Like, you have the odd ruins, and maybe a chest here and there. But I'm just going through a forest, and like, well, I'm immersed. I don't need to have a city everywhere. And of course, you know, making the model of your spaceship different, that'll be fun. Someone better model in the Bebop for me. The anime version, not the other one. But yeah, I just think a space setting in general is, it will give a lot of options, because fantasy, like Skyrim has a much bigger modding scene, and not only because I think a lot of people see Skyrim as the better game, but just the fantasy setting in general, it's just more appealing to a lot of people. And, you know, Fallout, I love the setting of Fallout. It's probably my preferred setting, honestly. But I realise, like, it is a lot more niche. You know, whenever a mod is made for that game, obviously not all the time, but quite often you have to work within the limits of what would work within the world of Fallout. Whereas fantasy Skyrim, you know, if I'm using Aragorn's sword in a mod, sure, it'll take me out of it for a bit, but it still relatively fits. And so with space, I mean, space, anything goes, right? Like, you could just make your own faction on a planet for a mod, and it'll fit because, you know, it's its own planet of their own stuff. So yeah, too long didn't read. I think modding will be a big thing still. It's not going anywhere. I'm hoping that the creation kit is better. I'm pretty hopeful for Starfield. And, well, when it comes to mod lists, I wouldn't bank on any appearing that quickly. Mod lists, not only do they take a long while to make, but they have loads of mods in them. And, you know, it's going to take a while before we get to the point where Starfield has loads of mods. Which, I mean, I'm fine with, really, because I always do my first playthrough of a game unmodded. Like, maybe a UI mod, which makes it so I can switch the HUD off and stuff, but that's about it. I never add any items or anything. But yeah, and, hey, if you've got opinions on this, do let me know in the comments. I like a good chat. And also, just let me know if you like this kind of video. I can't imagine me doing it much, but, you know, it's just a topic I wanted to talk about. And my next mod list video should be next week, week after, depending when you're watching. It's somewhen. And yeah, thanks for listening. Toodaloo.